Hey there, welcome back to Cowboys News TV. If you're as fired up as I am about the latest Cowboys rumors, you're in the right place. Today we're diving into some of the hottest topics, starting with Donovan Eziroaku and whether he could become an elite pass rusher for Dallas. Plus, we'll touch on the Jaylen Ramsay trade rumors and what's next for Mazi Smith on the defensive line. So, Donovan Eziroaku, the Cowboys snagged him in the second round, and honestly, he's got all the tools to make an impact. Think of him like a Harold Landry type, not quite Micah Parsons level, but a strong contender to be a solid pass rusher who could even make some Pro Bowls down the line. What makes him stand out is his pressure rate back in college, which was an impressive 14%. For a guy who's a bit undersized but quick off the edge, that's a big deal. If he can translate that to the NFL, we could be looking at a serious weapon on defense. Now, switching gears to Jaylen Ramsay, there's been a lot of chatter about Miami possibly trading him, especially if injuries start hitting their roster. The problem? His huge $21 million cap hit makes him a tough sell. That kind of money scares off teams, and the Dolphins might just have to swallow a chunk of that if they want to move him. For the Cowboys, that price might be too steep, even though everyone would love to see Ramsay in Dallas. What do you think? Would you want the Cowboys to try for Ramsay if the price was right? Let me know in the comments. Finally, let's talk about Mazi Smith, the nose tackle. His contract's pretty affordable at $4 million, and the money is fully guaranteed, which is rare. But the big question is, will he step up this season? He's had some setbacks with injuries and changing defensive schemes, so this might be his make-or-break year. If he can improve his run defense and avoid getting pushed around, Dallas might keep him around. Otherwise, they could look elsewhere. Before we move on, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any Cowboys updates. Do you think Eziroaku will become an elite pass rusher? Drop a yes or no in the comments and tell me why. So, let's dive into the rumors swirling around the Cowboys' defensive line, starting with Donovan Eziroaku. You might be wondering, what kind of impact can this guy really have? Well, from what I've seen and heard, Donovan isn't just another rookie. He's being compared to Harold Landry, which is a pretty high compliment. He's got that quickness and pass-rushing ability that could seriously shake things up for Dallas. Now, he's not going to be Micah Parsons overnight, but if he develops into even a borderline Pro Bowler, that's huge value for a second-round pick. What makes Donovan especially intriguing is his versatility. In college, he even took snaps at the three-technique defensive tackle spot, showing he can do a bit of everything on the defensive front. His pressure rate was impressive, especially given his size, which means he knows how to get to the quarterback without relying solely on brute strength. For the Cowboys, adding a player like this could really improve their pass rush depth and overall defensive disruption. But here's a question for you. Do you think Donovan Eziroaku will become a key piece of the Cowboys' defense this season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and while you're there, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update on your Cowboys. Now, while Donovan's rookie hype is building, there are also some talks about the defensive tackle spot, specifically about Mazi Smith's future with the team. Mazi's had a tough go with injuries and hasn't quite hit the Pro Bowl level, which is probably the bar the Cowboys want to see before committing to him long-term. His $4 million fully guaranteed contract next year gives the team some flexibility, but if he doesn't show growth this season, there's a chance they'll look elsewhere. What concerns me is the overall lightness of the defensive line, with a lack of big, powerful interior linemen to anchor against the run. Mazi is one of the few heavier guys on the line, but Dallas still needs to find more size to complement the speed. Would you want the Cowboys to invest in adding a bigger defensive tackle? Or do you think their current lineup is enough? Cast your vote in the comments. Yes, for adding size. No, if you think they're fine as is. This mix of youth, potential, and some question marks makes the Cowboys' defensive front an interesting story to watch this season. The pressure to improve is high, and how players like Donovan and Mazi perform will shape the defense's identity. Stay tuned because we'll be following this closely as the season unfolds. All right, moving on to the next key player from the draft that Cowboys fans should keep an eye on, Siobhan Revel. This guy flew under the radar for a lot of people, but those who watched closely during the draft process saw a ton of upside. Siobhan's a linebacker with great instincts and solid coverage skills, which is exactly what the Cowboys need in today's pass-heavy NFL. What's exciting about Siobhan is his ability to read the quarterback and drop back in coverage, making him valuable in both run support and pass defense. He's not just a run stopper, he can cover tight ends and running backs effectively, which gives the Cowboys more flexibility in their defensive schemes. Considering the team's ongoing struggles in linebacker coverage, adding a player like Revel could be a big step forward. However, it's important to temper expectations. Siobhan is still raw and will need time to adjust to the speed and complexity of the NFL game. He might start off primarily on special teams and in certain packages while learning the ropes. But if he develops as expected, he could become a reliable contributor within a year or two. So here's a question for you. How high do you rank Siobhan Revel's potential impact on the Cowboys' defense this season? Do you think he'll make an immediate difference, or is he more of a project for the future? Drop your take in the comments below. I'm curious to see what you think. To wrap this up, between Donovan Eziroaku and Siobhan Revel, the Cowboys definitely added some promising defensive pieces in the draft. The real challenge will be how well these rookies adapt and develop in a competitive Cowboys defense aiming for playoff success. Keep watching this space for all the updates and breakdowns as we track their progress. Now that we've talked about Donovan Eziroaku and Siobhan Revel, let's dive into some of the potential targets for the Cowboys on day 3 of the draft. This is where savvy picks can really pay off, filling gaps and adding depth to key positions. One name that keeps popping up for the Cowboys is a wide receiver who could provide that reliable second or third option the offense needs. The Cowboys have been linked to several receivers known for their route running and hands, skills that fit well with Dak Prescott's style. Adding another weapon in the passing game would help keep defenses honest and open things up for CeeDee Lamb and other playmakers. On the defensive side, Day 3 often yields versatile players who can contribute on special teams immediately, while developing into solid starters down the line. The Cowboys have a tradition of finding gems late in the draft, players who might have been overlooked but bring grit and determination. These picks can sometimes be the hidden key to a team's success during a long NFL season. Also, don't forget the importance of offensive line depth. Injuries happen, and having young, talented backups ready to step in is crucial for protecting Prescott and maintaining the offense's rhythm. A solid Day 3 pick at guard or tackle could be a game-changer in the long run. What about you? Which positions do you think the Cowboys should prioritize on Day 3? And are there any sleepers you're rooting for? Let me know in the comments. This is your chance to help shape the conversation about the team's future. As we keep an eye on these draft picks and potential moves, it's clear the Cowboys are focused on building a balanced team. Drafting well on all 3 days will be key to competing at a high level this season. All right, now that we've unpacked the draft picks, trades, and roster moves, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. What all this means for the Dallas Cowboys down the road. Are these decisions setting the team up for sustained success, or could some choices backfire and leave the Cowboys scrambling later? First, let's talk about the emphasis on youth and potential. The Cowboys clearly aim to add players who can grow with the team, especially on defense. Donovan Eziroaku, Siobhan Revel, and a few later picks all have the athletic traits and upside to develop into starters. That's a positive sign. But youth also means inexperience, and that transition isn't guaranteed to be smooth. It will be crucial for the coaching staff, especially Brian Schottenheimer and the defensive coaches, to develop these talents quickly. Then there's the impact on the salary cap. Adding young rookie-scale players gives the Cowboys financial flexibility. This means they can still chase key free agents or extend their core stars like Micah Parsons and Dak Prescott without being handcuffed. However, the flip side is that some veterans may be squeezed out as the team adjusts its roster to balance youth and experience. One wild card here is how the Cowboys handle their draft capital moving forward. They spent some of their future picks this year to move up or package for players. This aggressive approach can pay off if the new additions perform well, but it reduces draft capital in future years. The team will have to be smart in managing trades and free agency to avoid holes in the roster. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think the Cowboys' focus on youth and potential is the right strategy? Or would you prefer more proven veterans? And how confident are you that Brian Schottenheimer's staff can develop these rookies quickly? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Also, quick poll. Are you optimistic about the Cowboys' long-term outlook after this draft and off-season moves? Vote in the poll right now. To wrap this up, the Cowboys' approach this off-season shows a clear vision, building a competitive roster that can win now and stay competitive in the coming years. But as always, the proof will be on the field. How these players develop and how the coaches manage the roster will decide if this offseason is remembered as a turning point or a missed opportunity. Stick around because next we'll talk about the biggest questions still looming over this Cowboys team and what to watch for as training camp kicks off.